This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Welcome to Saturday Morning Mysteries, where the Toon Tangent episode, bonus content. We're your hosts. I'm Grace. For those watching the YouTube video, this is Mako, our guest host today. And
Hello,
this is our regular normal host,
Alexis. Actually, no, I'm actually the guest today. This is the Grace and Mako show featuring Alexis Bird. Look at him. Look at that good boy.
Look at our weird little alien. I have two dogs. This is one of them, and he is an alien. The other dog is on the other side of the table, glaring at us because he's not on my lap.
We like aliens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, all dogs are good dogs. Well, most dogs are good dogs. Doesn't matter what they look like. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So this is also called what was it? Saturday Morning Mako is
Saturday Morning Mako.
Our alternative show.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for future episodes where literally it's just him and Grace just sitting there, her petting him for a typical hour plus whatever, just looking around, maybe sipping on coffee. I will be nowhere around. Like it's literally Saturday Morning Mako coming soon to a phone or computer screen near you.
Yep, would watch forever.
And also it's not just going to be on YouTube. Like she'll record it for the podcast too. So you literally just hear Grace like coughing and just like
Mako's like jingling of his collar.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all have heard my dogs on the podcast before, just in the background barking. So this is one of the two, which as we were talking about just before the show, neither of my dogs are lap dogs, but they are lap dogs. And I would like to show the audience, and for those listening to the podcast, Mako is a little alien looking dog, but the most important part of Mako, can we show them your overbite? Is that he, look at his face, he's like, no, Mom. Is that he has a huge overbite. Don't you, Mako?
Which is why you named him after a shark.
Yeah, right? Exactly. My little Mako shark. Anyways, now you see the snout of my other dog. All right. Well, the reason why
it's just a party.
There is a party going on. Usually my door's closed when we record, but my partner Justin is gone right now. He's out fishing right now, and the dogs.
So y'all are probably all asking why, Grace, are you letting all of these amazingly adorable good doggos surround you right now?
They are, and it's because they are the therapy dogs for this episode. Because today on Toon Tangents, we're getting into some shit that we need a calming presence for. Because this is a kind of continued discussion from our a previous Toon Tangent in which we talked about revivals and reboots and live action ones. Yes, we talked about the Powerpuff Girls revival reboot situation, and we left that episode with a little bit of hope in our hearts,
a little bit,
about what it could be. But today.
We're going to switch. We're going to talk now about a live action revival that we have no hope for.
It's because
little
it's
to no, maybe little. Like if there were 100 units of hope, I maybe have 2 units for this show.
Wow.
Maybe.
And I think it's because it's already, I guess probably by the time this is released, it's on the air.
It'll be out. Probably.
Unlike Powerpuff Girls, where they're redoing the whole thing, this one's already in production and is signed, sealed, delivered.
Yes. And so which show is this for those who may be asking this for this traumatic thing we're about to talk about?
This is literally one of the articles was like ready to traumatize your childhood. Because this is the Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder live action reboot in which
can't even get through the name, I'm sorry, without just
Fairly Odder,
all of the joy just escaping. Fairly Odder.
Dog pet.
I'm gonna act like
dog pet.
I've got a dog down here now. I should have brought a stress ball over here with me, just like
you just pop it. So we'll like our last Toon Tangent. Let's talk a little bit first about what we know about this, again, already actively released show that exists.
Or
Fairly Otter. Or about to be. I know. Depending on when we release this. But basically the premise is that, and Bird obviously fill in any blanks here that I'm sure I will miss, But essentially, this is again live action, but Cosmo and Wanda are still animated. For those, I guess, well, let's backtrack even further. Fairly OddParents itself, a classic show, Nickelodeon, and essentially the premise was, Timmy Turner was like dweeby little kid whose parents were a fucking mess. Got fairly godparents, but they are, or fairy godparents, but they are fairly odd because they're quirky and shenanigans always ensue to help his sad little life. And so, well, let's be honest. So it was the three of them, and it was just about the shenanigans they got into. But the live action reboot, while Cosmo and Wanda, who were the fairy godparents / fairly odd parents, are still animated. The live action is, I guess, that Timmy is a little older now, and Cosmo and Wanda have gone off to his younger cousins, who it's like a stepsister and stepbrother, and are now there to help them.
Those two are still animated. Cosmo and Wanda are still animated, while everything else in the show is full on live action.
Yes. And for this one, we actually have a trailer that is in existence. So we have like snippets of what is happening. And let me tell you, none of it is good.
None of it. Can I just say real quick too, this is how not good this trailer is, y'all. So the show's going to be on Paramount Plus, which is the streaming service that owns all of the Nickelodeon and various like Viacom properties, whatever. And Paramount Plus posted this trailer on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
They had to turn the comments off, right?
Oh, no!
They had to turn the comments off. Which, like, look, I'm not a fan of bullying, obviously, but I mean, I am a fan of good criticism of art. And I think that these comments were very likely just honest criticism of the art that Paramount Plus put in front of the world. And they decided to turn the comments off as a result. So yeah. So anyway, continue on. Well, now tell us about this trailer and how not good it is and how nightmare fuelish it is.
Yeah. So Mako just now heard about the trailer and was like, I'm fucking out of here, Mom. I'm done with this. I hate this show too.
Do not torture me with the retelling of that trailer. You can torture me though, just not Mako.
Yeah, no, Mako.
He's a good boy.
He was done with this shit. He's too good of a boy. So, and I don't know, I was thinking about this of like, is it just because now I'm an adult in which seeing such a horribly cheesy thing is cringe? Or were like all of the shows we watched growing up this cringe and we were just kids, so we were into it. But like I go back and watch and I like those old shows and they don't feel as cringe. So basically it's just like, I think from the trailer, what we've seen, I'm questioning whether the way the script was written, was it just like a automatic, like an algorithm generated, like
a robot. I let a robot watch 10 episodes of Fairly OddParent and then programmed it
and like modern day, like Disney shows and like what the like most hated lines were. Like someone wrote that program and this is how they wrote the script, is how I describe it.
The way that I see it is a group of like upper 30 something or like 40 something year olds writing in a way that they think 13 and like 15-year-olds like to talk. And they're super out of touch. It's like they're using words that were maybe cool for like us when we were that young.
And the line delivery is horrible of them too.
That's on the actors, which it's like all unknown actors too. So it's like the only way that they're going to draw people into the show is through the title Fairly OddParents, because there aren't any actors in it who people are like, oh my God, I love that person. I've got to follow them and watch along. But going back to the writing though, it is the main show creator is behind this live action. The one who did the animated original show is behind the live action. And I think some of the writers too. And so my guess is like, they're just channeling the exact same like thoughts and whatever that they channeled when they wrote the show for like our generation. And they're putting it back on paper. Dude, Gen Z though, or whatever generation this is targeted for, they're not like us. Like, and that's not like a compliment or an insult. That's just like, it's just like a fact. Like, they don't talk like us. They don't think like us. They don't consume entertainment like necessarily the way that we do. So you can't just like rehash the same like things that you thought we were saying 20 or 15, however many years ago, and expect kids today to also like it. I don't even like the way it sounds now.
And I think,
like, who says this?
Yeah. And I think that's like, that's a great point of like, it's putting our language that they thought we used on what their interpretation of Gen Z is, which like Gen Z, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, don't watch it. You're going to be offended by what these adults think you are.
Think of you. Yeah. Like y'all are way smarter than the way they're portraying you in this show.
You guys are fantastic.
Yeah, and you guys actually scare me. These kids in this show though, no, they'd be bullied to oblivion. And I'm anti-bullying, by the way, but
this is not a bullying episode. No. We're not trying to support bullying, but like, I'm thinking of, I should have written down some of the lines, but it's just like this classic, like plug and chug, and like these poor actors in it getting the direction of being like, it just reminds me of like, I have a feeling that in the show it's going to be the every 3 seconds freeze frame to like laugh track type of thing where it's like, Timmy, that's not lit. Laugh track. Yeah, you're right, Wanda.
It's like, so not a vibe,
right? And
it'll be like, dumb shit like that. Yeah,
like it's none of it.
And none of those are lines that we pulled directly from the trailer.
But they might as well be.
But like that is the vibe, that they give off. Yeah, there's a way to use that word like in it. Like there's a good way to use that word. It will not be used properly in that show if it's used there though.
Not at all.
But I also want to say too that like this is, I don't know if you remember, but this is the 4th time that they've done a live action adaptation.
They tried to do movies, right?
They did. Those were the first 3. Which
I never watched.
I can't talk about now because those movies star Drake Bell.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I guess for some reason that Drake Bell was the Timmy in this too, because you only see him for 2 seconds, so I assumed it was him.
Yeah, they got like the Wish version. It's like you order something on Amazon versus on Wish.
Yeah, Instagram versus reality.
Exactly. But the reason they had to do that is because Drake Bell is currently a little preoccupied with his current legal troubles.
Oh, no.
You did not
what happened?
Yes.
No.
Drake Bell was arrested in Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio. For attempted child endangerment. Actually, there was like a fan. There was a fan of his that he was like linking up with at concerts. Apparently, she was like 15 years old at the time, and he was like sending her inappropriate either messages or pictures and stuff. And I don't think that they were ever like actually like full-on sexual assault charges or anything, but at a minimum they were like, dude, you were like in custody of this kid and you put her in an unsafe position, or at least you could have through your actions. So he got charged with that. He was arrested at some point too, I believe. And he was going through a bunch of legal issues. So
I'm glad he's not on the show. That's a bright point of the show.
Literal cancellation.
Well, I like in the Powerpuff Girl episode, Toon Tangent, we did highlight some bright points. So bright point, they didn't get a pedophile to be on the show.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Which
Good.
I was super bummed about that stuff with him because I love Drake and Josh. I love the Amanda show. He was in that. Literally, like besides the Fairly OddParents stuff, I liked most of the stuff that he did.
Yeah.
But
Josh Bell's still doing great. Josh is
the law is the law. Oh, Josh is great.
Yeah, he's doing well.
He's killing it right now. Yeah. But anyway, so this is not the first time that they've tried to go live action with this show. They're doing it again. This time they're just doing it as a show instead of a movie. And I think that that's actually going to be worse off for them rather than keeping it contained to a 90-minute story. And just like right off the bat, there's like so many questions. Like, so I was a really big fan of this show growing up.
Yeah.
I have not watched it in a long time though. But like, there are a few things from it that I distinctly remember that like had me scratching my head when I was watching this trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe I missed something because again, haven't watched it in a long time. I think it was revived maybe in like the late, like 2015, something along there. I didn't watch
early
that
2010s.
Yeah. And I didn't watch all of the Drake Bell movies. So maybe I missed some plot point, but, literally, remember there's like the rules, the book of rules for having Fairly Godparents.
Yeah.
And if you break them, Jorgen von Strangle, who is also in the show.
Oh,
so that's a bright point, I guess. But he would like come and like hunt you down to take away your Fairly OddParents or Fairy Godparents.
Like, multiple times of plot.
Exactly.
Of the show.
Exactly. One of the number one rule of the rules of Fairy Godparents is that you can't tell anyone that you have them. You have to keep them a secret. Yeah. And the very first thing that Timmy Turner, 23-year-old Timmy Turner, does in this trailer is whips them out of his book bag and shows them to his little cousins.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, you want some Fairly Godparents?
Here's some Fairly Godparents. Like, well, dude, you just broke the number one rule. You can't show people that you have them. So, like right off the bat, what are you doing? What? And again, like, Cosmo and Wanda are animated. Everything else is live action. It looks like it was super rushed with the animation. Like on its own, the animation would be okay, but when you render it with like all of the live action stuff, it just does not look that great. And even the live action stuff doesn't look that great. It's like a cheap Disney knockoff show. Yes. I mean, it does not look promising. Yeah. And no one asked for this.
No one asked for this. I think too, there's a way to do that whole like, here's a continuing plot that nods to the old thing, but is its own thing altogether. So obviously not animated, well, I guess CGI or whatever. But I think of like Jumanji, where like the OG Robin Williams and then the new ones that are fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of really respectful nods to the original that you would have only picked up on if you were a fan of the first one with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But it's separate enough and distinct enough in which it's like, this is its own thing and it's paying respects.
Yes.
This revival TV show is not that. It's like this weird mixture of like, no, it's its own thing, but really it's just the same plot with like new characters who are very annoying. Like,
yeah.
They should have either just stayed with, this is live action Timmy, we're doing the same thing, or like this is the new generation and it's not Cosmo and Wanda anymore, but it's some other ones, and sometimes we run into Cosmo and Wanda or Timmy. It's that kind of thing.
But
no,
actually, dude, that's such a good point. I would have rather either them redo the cartoon, just like keep going with that, keep it animated.
Yep.
Or you're right, just like introduce a totally new kid, new fairies and all of that, and just like start fresh, whether they redid the cartoon or had it live action.
Right. And like, again, just nod to the old one here and there. But
like they could still have Jorgen in it because he like worked for the overall fairy system, if I remember. So like he could still pop up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of the other stuff, like I mean, and maybe even Timmy pops up or whatever at some point. Right, I don't know. But this
little things can still remain
not
like
the way to do it.
Icky Vicky is still somehow the babysitter for some reason. Like, great. But the copy and paste only part of it does not work.
No.
Y'all we will link to the trailer in all of the show notes and stuff so you can go watch it and be just as in pain.
Yeah.
And like again, an article said traumatized.
It will ruin your childhood
by this. Yeah. And something else that maybe it's now just because I'm an adult, I think it's really annoying. But like cheap version of Disney Channel portrayal of like parents, where obviously in Fairly OddParents, Timmy's parents are a fucking hot mess, but they had personalities that made them so. But it would appear that this version, again, Timmy's cousins, like their parents, are just like vapid, non-existent, dumbass parents. And it's like, well, if you're gonna make the parents idiots, like that's happens in kids shows all the time. It's funny, it's great for kids, but they have like specific things that they're dumb about, and that's why it's funny. It's not just like this like blind like yeah, I don't know how to do anything.
Right.
It's like that's not writing.
Why are you? Yeah, it's almost like, how are you even parenting at this point?
Right. Like, call child services.
Bumbling through life, exactly.
At this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
grim.
Look, I really have like no blessings for this one. I guess the only saving grace I mentioned before, the guy who wrote and created the original cartoon is attached, but again, that's like he also wrote the live action movies, right? So that actually is like that's a toss up. It's like, okay, great, the animation was awesome, the live action movies were terrible, so this guy actually might not be good with live action whatsoever for this show. And then also like the original voices of Cosmo and Wanda are coming back, so it's like, all right, at least they're not going to change the voices. But again, that's like, we already said that we would probably prefer watching one with different fairies anyway, so it's like, I don't that's not going to draw me in enough just to know that those two actors are back. And they also got rid of their kid. Remember, they had a kid at one point, which was actually like became a super popular character. And now poof is just gone. Like, okay, so is it a reboot? Are they like starting fresh? But then also Timmy Turner is still there, so it's not a reboot. So is it a revival? Is it an adaptation? Missed opportunity.
Poof could have been the grown-up godparent now to the cousins.
Oh my God!
Like,
Paramount Plus, y'all, I hope one of you guys is listening to this, because look, if this show has to happen, like I guess so, because it either has already premiered or it's getting ready to premiere by the time we drop this episode. Please listen. Like I want to like look straight in the camera and make like a direct plea.
Wait, you gotta do the politician finger motion as well.
No, just listen. Listen to what Grace just said. That's such a good idea. And I guess it's too late now, but making a show where Poof grew up, and it's almost like Cosmo and Wanda and Timmy are sending him off to college, so to speak, and they're giving him to Timmy's younger cousins. And then you just start wholly fresh there. And then maybe Timmy, Cosmo, and Wanda come in to visit for like holiday specials and random guest appearances, so that you remember, oh yeah, it's connected to that. Wow. Yeah, that's like a million times better. I still don't know if I would watch it, but I would definitely watch that. Like, I would be more interested in watching that than this, whatever you want to call what is about to come out, which, by the way, Fairly Odder is supposed to come out on March 31st. Again,
could already be out, people.
It could be out by the time we post this. We're not entirely sure. It's early March as of our recording. So yikes, that's soon, because also I read somewhere that it just started production in like, where was it? I wrote it down, July of 2021.
Oh, so, and this trailer came out like a couple of weeks ago, so February. Yeah,
that's less than a year of like production. I think they announced it before that, so they were probably working on it before then, but like they clearly just threw this together very quickly. It seems like Paramount Plus is like, we need more content, we need more stuff so that more people will like be on our streaming service.
Nope, you're not gonna get me on that streaming service.
This ain't it, Chief. This ain't it.
Not at all. Well, that's our grim take on Fairly Odder. It's gone tank probably.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
I will say, sorry, this doesn't have to do with the reboot, but real quick, I just have to throw in here. There was one particular thing about Fairly OddParents. Do you remember when they did the crossovers with Jimmy Neutron? Did you ever watch those?
I don't know if I ever watched those, but
Timmy Power Hours. Those were awesome. And in my honest opinion, they could have ended the series with those, and I think we would have been all right. Poof came after those, I think, but in my opinion, they should have stopped right there and just never looked back.
Or again,
run the reruns in syndication.
Or again, realized the power of like, oh, guess what? An animated series. That means we can keep it going forever because it's animated, and we don't have to worry about aging actors. We can just be like, guess what? Season 8,000. We're here.
Same voices. Yeah. Oh well.
So there's all that.
We'll see. Maybe we'll come back and do more videos on this as the show comes out. Maybe we'll try to I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I don't have Paramount Plus. I might get it, but
do a free trial Paramount Plus to watch it, and we'll report back to y'all on after like several episodes come out, so we can watch at least like a couple or a few and get a feel for it. Exactly.
Yeah, because we definitely want to keep talking about this one to see, because who knows, maybe it'll surprise us. I don't think there's any way that this show could be great, but maybe it'll surprise us and it'll actually be like not watchable. Yeah,
you know? That's our standard. Watchable. I got through it. I didn't turn it off halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. It was on in the background as I was cleaning and cooking and shit. Yeah. So there's that.
Also, as a final note, completely unrelated, but for those watching the YouTube, so people on the podcast, listening to the podcast, I just realized I should note, I've got a sweatshirt on. This is Utah veteran. I'm not a veteran. I realized like a
stolen valor.
Stolen valor. That like it looks like I'm saying I am a veteran. This is my partner's sweatshirt. He is a veteran. Yes. He was in the Marine Corps.
Yes, her partner is the veteran, not her.
Not me. I just wanted to establish
she's not stealing valor from any of you brave soldiers out there. Or veterans. Yeah. Anyway, clear that air.
I was like, this is not good. This is not, I did not do anything.
This is not 100% accurate. Yeah. I just stole my partner's hoodie because it's comfy and warm.
Yeah, super comfy. So I took it. Anyways,
we'll keep on it. We'll keep on it with the Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder. Stay tuned. It comes out, like we said, March 31st on Paramount Plus. Watch it if you dare. Let us drop in the comments. Yeah, exactly. Let us know if you're excited for it. If your childhood is as ruined or on the cusp of ruin as ours is.
Also, if you like didn't actually watch Fairly OddParents, but you're excited for this new show, let us know what it's like going into it without this preconceived notion too, because maybe it is good if you don't have that attachment. So
yeah, exactly.
Let us know.
True.
Cool. Well, bye.
Until next time.
On Saturday Morning Mako. I mean, Mysteries.
Mysteries, yes. Yeah. Featuring Alexis.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, bye.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus Toon Tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.